Okay, I'm back. Went inside and ate dinner. Ate way too much. Going there on so damn fat. It ain't gonna be worth the crap now. But I looked at the video. There was oil dripping off that pump when I pulled it out. So then I took this piece of clear hose, stuck it over this fitting, sucked on it, and it does draw up fluid. So there's enough hydraulic oil in there. So the drawing doesn't show any piston rings, but there's got to be something. I mean, I'm just going to have to tear the damn thing apart. I don't want to, but I did notice on the drawing though what I thought that pump housing on the bottom here, it looked like it was all one cast piece, but it's actually two. It's just really good machining. And there is a spanner nut right here, so I think I can take that off and drop the whole unit out. Then I can, that way I don't have to pull all the guts out here and lift it out. So that's the plan. I'm going to see, I want to take this arm off. That'll lighten things up a whole bunch. And all the other pins have come out pretty easy, so let's see. I got that wheel in the way on this side, so I'm going to have to pound it through this way. So let's do that next. We'll get that off. Pull this back off. And hopefully get into that damn pump. Because it's really starting to piss me off. Let's see how I can do this not being in your way. I really need to get me a brass punch. But the metal one I'll have to do. I am amazed how easy all these pins have come out. This thing sat out in the weather. So far, nothing's been rusted up too bad. And there's my paper towels. things up a bunch. That back in, that'll give me something to lift on. Now I'll pull these four bolts and lift that off. Alright, tighten them damn things up good. Alright, tighten them damn things up good. So I'll go ahead and pull these out. You don't need to watch me do this again. Okay, the bolts are out. So let's pull this out. Put it on the welding bench instead of the ground, so I ain't got to kneel down on it. Come on, prick. So you can see there is oil coming out of it. Okay, right there is that spanner nut I was talking about. And I have loosened it already. Just like everything else on this machine, as far as fasteners and stuff, it's coming right off. Well, that is a strong spring in there. That might be fun getting this back together. Interesting, that is not slipping over that. Let's take a look. Yeah, there ain't no goddamn rings on that piston. No, there's the pump unit. That's stupid, that won't slip over that. How the hell do I gotta get that out? Like a pin and a flathead. Wonder. Getting oil all over my welding bench. So that's slid in just like that. It's one of the reasons I do these videos, so I can remember how stuff goes back together. Let's see if I can slide that. So you get that out of there. There we go. Sorry, I'm probably off camera half the time here, ain't I? Wonder if that's supposed to spin, because it hasn't been. And it looks good and clean. It looks fairly clean. I mean, there ain't nothing to it. So let me clean this stuff up a little bit and I'll be back. Alright, let me show you this pump. First, I don't know if it's going to show up. That's the parts diagram for this. See, it's real simple, ain't much there. But everything that's there in the drawing is right here. So I've gone through, cleaned this. This is clear all the way through. I don't know what the hell that little tube is. I need to look at that drawing, or that opening. See if that's on that drawing. So, not much to that. Got your ball bearing, which acts as a check valve. That goes in the very bottom. This is your ball cage. And that drops straight down in there. Where's my flashlight? Make sure it's right. Okay. Then you got your spring that sits on that. Got this deal, I don't know what the hell you call it, but it goes in the top of the spring. Then this unit goes over the whole works. And as it's pushing down off that eccentric cam, it'll pump air out here. So here's my thought, and I'll show you the other unit. But when this was running, I said I could fill vacuum. Well, I was doing a vacuum, then a pressure, then a vacuum and a pressure, depending on how that. When that's going down, it's pushing air or pushing fluid out. When it comes back up, it's wanting to draw it back in. The check valve keeps it from going back out of the tank. So when that plunger's going down, it forces it up out of here instead of out of the bottom. When it's rising, that check valve, sorry, got distracted. That check valve lifts, bringing fluid in, but it's also wanting to draw it down through this tube. So there's got to be another piece that counteracts that, another piston or another check valve in that other unit that keeps the fluid from running back down. Hopefully that makes sense. Like I said in my introduction video, I'm good. I can understand how shit works. I just have a hard time explaining it. So let me take you over to that other half of the hydraulic unit, and I'll show you what I'm talking about there. This thing should be working. Okay, behind this big bolt here, you got a seal there, just a big cap inside of here. Let me grab that one bolt I had. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, it looks like it. From here, there's another piston. It should move freely. That was seized up. What the hell that noise is? It sounds like I got a bird in my chimney over here. I'm gonna hit that with the Scotch-Brite or steel wool and clean that up. So here's where your oil's coming in from the pump. This thing should slide back and forth easily. It wasn't. The first time the last time I tore this apart, that was froze up. Took a smaller bolt than this, wedged it in there, took my wrench and had to pry it out. So that was froze up. But that's keeping the fluid that's coming in, it's keeping it from going back out. When that pump does the, what would it be, the upstroke, it should create a vacuum on that, block this port off that's going in right here, and that'll keep the oil from running back in. And when it's on this pressure stroke, it's pushing down and it should push that back. So I think I hope that was my problem. Trying to think after I cleaned that if I tried running that. I don't think I did. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and polish that up better. Pretty sure this is clear. Yes. So I didn't take that out, but I took all this out and everything else inside. Okay, I'm gonna clean that up. Make sure it's moving freely in there, and I'll be back. Okay, I cleaned that piston up. Actually hit it with the buffing wheel. I got a light coat of oil on there. Also ran a wire brush down through the inside here. So it's good and clean. So now that is moving. So I was looking at this, and what it does, there's oil or a port right here, another port here. So the oil comes in, and when that's down all the way, it allows it to go through here and then into the main body. And you can adjust how much gets through there with this needle valve. But when this is in the up position or out, then it blocks this port off here and keeps the oil from running back through. At least that's my thought. Damn battery went dead. So I'm going to put this back together. I got that good and clean in there. One second. Okay, that's good and tight. I wonder if we can hear that move now. Yep, yep. Oh, let's see if I can make that move back and forth with my mouth. Sticking my lips on dirty stuff. Yep. Okay. Damn it. I know I've said this about a dozen times, but hopefully this sucker's gonna work. Okay, I got this piece thrown back on, bolted down, took and cranked it, and oil shot straight up. I don't want to do it again because I had a mess, but anyway. There you can see, look, there you go. So that unit, I'm going to say, is working. Now I need to put the spring in. I'll get hose hooked up first and spring and then a pump unit. This lever, I know I said don't let me forget to put that on before I do that. Belt guard, but I knocked the pin out of it so I can put that in afterwards. So we're gaining.